Thursday, June 3rd, 2021, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, the nation's leader opens debate on the 2021-2022 budget. We take a walk down memory lane on the history of Labor Day. Jazz is back, making his presence felt for the Marlins. And a local recording artist changing the way he sees music. So let's start the morning off right. Is definitely here. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning edition. I'm LaDawn Davis.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great night. I'm Charles Fisher.
Roy Fisher, we've been toiling for almost 3 years on this morning edition, so we're going to have a very special Labor Day tomorrow.
Labor Day, I miss those marches. I used to have fun with my fellow workmates walking up and down the streets, just shouting like you're loose. You know the song is Loose Me?
Yeah.
That's how it used to be. But are there any parades planned for tomorrow?
I don't think there's going to be any parades tomorrow, but I know that we have some labor movers and shakers that are going to be in the house this morning to tell us, what to expect tomorrow.
Once again, an exciting, great show. But guess what? If you can see this, we have 2 gifts to give away today. We have a T-shirt. Let's get the trivia question up right now. Who was the first Bahamian general manager of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas? You can dial 502-3870 and you can win yourself this T-shirt. Once again, 502-3870. Who was the first Bahamian general manager of the Broadcasting Corporation of Bahamas? And since it's Labor Day, I'm also going to throw in this ZNES 85th anniversary mask. There's also a gift this morning. Can you tell us what BCPOU stands for? That's our union. If you can tell us what that stands for, you can also win this mask in this COVID environment. The numbers to call 502-3870. But the day is looking quite nice on the outside already, and our Desmond Sanders is out there on the streets. Good morning once again, Des.
Well, Charles and LaDawn, I'm here on Farrington Road near the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Building. Corporal Patrick Camp joining me this morning. Speed, still a major issue on the streets.
Good morning, Mr. Sanders, and good morning, Bahamas. And you're absolutely right, Mr. Sanders. In most cases involving traffic accidents and victims, speed has played a factor. Today, we still have 9 hospitalized persons as a result of traffic accidents. We've had some 15 total accidents reported within the last 24 hours. And recently, we've had a loss of life due to a traffic collision that occurred in the Blue Hill area. A lone male would have lost control of his vehicle heading in the southern direction in the area of Family Guardian. I'm going to continue to encourage the motoring public out there to please drive with due care and special attention. There's no need to take over the streets the way I see people do, drive in a reckless manner, in a dangerous manner to themselves and other road users. Be mindful that we all are brother's keeper.
That's right, some very good advice, particularly as we head into the long holiday weekend. That's going to do it from where I'm at, my vantage point, Farrington Road, near the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union. Back to you, Charles and LaDawn.
Good morning again. We are waking up to 77 degrees, mostly cloudy winds, southeast at 12 miles per hour, humidity 88%. A building high pressure will gradually usher in drier conditions along with moderate to fresh winds over the Bahamas Road tonight. All areas rather very cloudy and a bit breezy with widely scattered showers and the chance of a few isolated thunderstorms throughout tonight. Today's high temperature 86 degrees Fahrenheit, overnight low 70. As for Friday, the forecast for Friday, very cloudy with a bit breezy with isolated showers and a thunderstorm. In a thunderstorm in the afternoon as well. Daytime high temperature 86, night low 77. Saturday in the afternoon, thunderstorm. Daytime high should reach 86 again, typically 77 at night. And for Sunday, rain in the forecast again, so it's looking like a rainy Labor Day holiday weekend. Thunderstorm and breezy, 86 in the day and 77 at night.
Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, leading off the budget debate in the House of Assembly on Wednesday. During his 2-hour-long contribution, the Prime Minister drove home the message of preparation for the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. Just one day after the season began, it was announced that there would be a value-added tax holiday in July for Bahamians and residents to purchase much-needed hurricane supplies. This will complement another back-to-school value-added tax holiday scheduled for August.
My message to everyone is that they should use the month of July to get their homes and businesses ready for the hurricane season. Take advantage of the savings and avoid the rush. I remind the House and Bahamian residents that the VAT holidays are only applicable for eligible items purchased inside the country from local wholesalers and retailers. We want people to shop at home so that this money stays at home and benefits Bahamian businesses and, by extension, all of the employees of these commercial enterprises.
House Speaker and Nassau Village Member of Parliament, the Honourable Halsam Moultrie, speaking out on an issue plaguing his constituency, land enrichment. He likened it to what's happening with shanty towns across his country and is applauding the government for its efforts to bring order to the disturbing practice.
Bahamian citizens are compelled by the Constitution and our laws to obey our laws, and any other visitor, whether they were invited or they came without invitation, is subject to the laws of the land. And as such, I would accept and expect the authorities to intervene.
The Ministry of Health's latest release showing 29 new cases of COVID-19 in the Bahamas, all here in New Providence. 2 of those cases showing a history of travel within 14 days. 13 males and 16 females make up the list. Meantime, 49 people are fighting off the illness in hospital, 4 of them in the intensive care unit. The country's death toll remains at 230. $2 million has been set aside in the 2021-2022 budget for a permanent headquarters for the Junkanoo community, and that is welcoming news for Chairman of the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, Dion Miller. That money is set to be supplemented with provisions for Crown land for the major Junkanoo groups to be funded by grants from the established BTC Feeder Trust.
This is a great and excellent first step for the Junkanoo community. This will empower Junkanoo community to have a clean, safe environment for their members, as well as guests, as well as tourists alike to come in, feel safe and secure, and be able to do their craft in a proper facility.
University of the Bahamas student nurses staging a protest in Rawson Square on Wednesday, lamenting that for another year they're unable to graduate, and all because they can't fulfill certain graduation requirements at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Grace Lightbourne says it's frustrating that hundreds of student nurses can't move on with their careers, particularly when many of them are eager to assist the country in the fight against COVID-19 and in the midst of a nursing shortage.
Every week, every month, we see that not only that nurses are lost from the system, but that the government is crying about the nursing shortage. But we have hundreds of nursing students at the School of Nursing at the University of the Bahamas that are waiting to graduate. Personally, me and the ladies behind me, they've been held back for an entire year since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. We were supposed to graduate last year. This is another year come and gone that we could not have graduated. Now they're thinking of pushing us back another year, which is unacceptable. How can you cry about a nursing shortage when you have Bahamian nursing students who are already trained in your system, but you want to import nurses and bring back retired nurses? We are budding bright minds. Put us in the field.
Responding to the nurses, the Public Hospitals Authority issued a release acknowledging that given COVID-19 protocols during the period March 2020 to March 2021, students from the University of the West Indies and the University of the Bahamas were unable to access the clinical environment at its institutions. However, on Monday, May 10th, students from the trained clinical nurse program began a 14-week rotation starting with the Princess Margaret Hospital, and that the logistics pertaining to the re-entry of the Bachelor of Nursing students is expected to be completed soon. A tearful day for the Yellow Elder community as students, faculty, and staff of the government high school paid tribute to the life of former student Kim Paul. In a memorial service held just 2 weeks after the student's passing, faculty and loved ones expressed despair at a life they say was taken far too soon. Paul's former teachers reflecting on the teen who they called special, always quiet and never seen without a soft smile. Members of the clergy on hand to provide words of encouragement. A rose bush accompanied by a sign was planted on the school's campus in honor of Kim's memory.
After going 0 for 4 in his return to the Miami Marlins lineup on Tuesday, Josh Chisholm got back on the track last night, hitting his 6th homer of the season, a 2-run shot in the 3rd inning. This was his only hit of the night in a 5-plate appearance as the Marlins lost 6-5 to the Toronto Blue Jays. Jazz and the Marlins now travel to Pittsburgh for a 4-game series with the Pirates starting tonight. Another good showing last night for our men's national soccer team as qualifying for the 2022 World Cup continues. Team Bahamas was shut out on the road against Puerto Rico 7-0. The team now returns home for another tough match on Saturday against Trinidad and Tobago. That will be a closed-door match with no fans. The Bahamas currently the only team in Group 5 without a win at 0-3. Also in this group, St. Kitts and Nevis and Guyana.
And when we come back, we talk labor, so keep it locked.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And Step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today. That's why we got the
In just a few hours, the country will usher in yet another Labor Day holiday, but celebrations may be a bit different this time around for various reasons. But joining us live here on the Morning Edition is President of the Bahamas Financial Services Union, Teresa Mortimer. Teresa, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Good morning, and thank you, LaDawn.
So, Teresa, a special day for you and members of the labor movement. Talk to us a little bit about the significance of Labor Day and why do we celebrate it?
LaDawn, Labor Day would have come about in 1956 was actually the first Labor Day parade. And that would have been headed by the father of labor at that time, Sir Randolph Fox. And he, along with the governor, would have addressed a crowd that would have marched from Windsor Park to the Southern Recreation Ground to celebrate labor. We know that in 1942, we had what we call the Burma Road riot, where 5 persons would have lost their life because of labor situations that took place at that time. And we know it was salary related, where persons felt that the black workers were not getting what the white workers, we would call at that time, the same pay. And so that would have led to a riot, and that would have been celebrated in 1956. Randolph Fox, even though it wasn't passed into law until, 6 years later, we would have celebrated the first Labor Day on March 1st, 1956. And at that time, it was all about workers. We would have walked, we would have marched in parades with our placards, with our bands, dressed up in our outfits. It was a really dressy time to put on all your clothes and get out there and really show what labor's about. We don't do it the same way today, but that's how it was in 1956, way back then.
Okay, Teresa, so what are some of the issues the BPSU has been chasing amid COVID-19?
The BPSU, I would say we are sitting pretty well with, we represent, our employees are really employees of CIBC First Caribbean. And so what we have is what we call a partnership agreement. So someone would have said the other day that, boy, we don't hear from you no more. But it's because we sit around the table. We have what we call a partnership agreement. So we sit around the table, we work issues out at the table. In fact, we say to the bank that we don't have to put our clothes on the line anymore. because we have a dryer now. So we sit down and we work our issues out. But mostly what we are facing is exactly what everybody else is facing in this pandemic, where we are looking at perhaps redundancies of jobs, because of the work environment, people working from home, and you not needing all that you need right now. You know, all the banks that is are going digital, so you're going to find out that a lot of our employees are not going to be needed because why the digital platform is coming in. But I say to my employees every day, keep yourself abreast of what's happening, what's going on, so that you'll be a better person in the workplace. I like to tell them that don't just know your job, know your manager's job, and so that you can do that.
Yeah, and 4 of your members died in a tragic incident during a Labor Day march several years ago. What have your members done to keep their fallen colleagues' memories alive?
LaDawn, it's something that we think about every day in the BFSU. Because, you know, one of those 4 ladies was actually one of our sitting executive. And so just to sit at the table and she's missing, we feel the hurt. But we want to say to the families of our 4 fallen sisters, that would be Kathleen Rogers Fernanda, Diane Gray, Tammy Williams Gibson, and Tabitha Hey Bethel, that we remember you every day. And we're definitely going to remember them this Labor Day because we're going to assemble at the monument site. That's the eastern gate of Zion Baptist Church wall tomorrow at 9 o'clock to pay them their tribute, what is due. We can't never forget them. They will always be a part of our memories.
Teresa Mottawa, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and enjoy what you can of your Labor Day holiday. Thank you so much.
Thank you, too.
And as we continue with the spirit of Labor Day, we now swing back to our Desmond Sanders, who is standing by with another union leader.
Well, Charles and LaDonna, coming to you live from the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union Building here on Farrington Road. I have joining me this morning 2 union giants. As you are aware, we celebrate Sir Randall Fox Day, Labor Day tomorrow. Thursday or Friday, we celebrate Sir Randall Fox Day, a very fitting holiday as we are all aware of his impact. 2 union giants in the person of the president of the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union, Dino Roll, and Carl Wilson, who represents the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union. Gentlemen, good morning, and thank you for joining me. First, let's talk about Sir Randall Fox. What do you remember most about Sir Randall Fox?
Good morning, Desmond, and good morning, Bahamas. It's interesting because, you know, on this day, just first of this month, we recognize the 1942 uprising, what we call the Burma Road riot. Sir Randall was certainly instrumental in that. And so that, I believe, has been the impetus for what we now know as the modern day trade unions.
That's right. We also know him to be the father of labor in the country. Let's talk about his impact on trade unionism in the Bahamas.
Sir Randall, having been a part of the Bahamas Federation of Labor, you know, that is really the first trade union organization in the Bahamas. And so all of the trade unions, it's certainly the BCPOU, and I think Kyle would say the same thing for the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, we are the children of the Bahamas Federation of Labor that started by Sir Randall Fox. And so everything that we were able to do for our members and workers in general really was started by the father of labor. And that is why I think it's important every year, throughout the year, to celebrate Sir Randall.
I want to get Carl in because you are a new union leader.
Yes.
But certainly you were inspired by Fox's influence.
Yes. Just to piggyback on what he said, him being a father, and it breaks down to the children. This man was a great man. You know, history doesn't really give him his props as it does. When we talk about Sir Randall, we're talking about a person who made the Bahamas what it is today in terms of sacrifice. These were militant leaders back in the day. When I say militant, in terms of what they brought to the table, they didn't just march to reggae music or soca music for a good time. They marched to make a difference in this country. And so the benefits we enjoy today, some of the health benefits, some of the things, vacation, all these things, these people had to march the streets and fight for these things, literally almost get into physical fights to bring the Bahamas to where it is today. And history would record that there was a great decision to be made. But he made his decision with labor, at the party at the time that was representing the labor component. And so this gentleman made sacrifices beyond the norm, and he ought to be heralded at the level of the Celindans and the Milo Butlers and these people. And so with the march tomorrow, if there is one, we're going to celebrate him and what he has achieved for Bahamian people.
I want Dino to get in. Are there any activities to celebrate Labor Day tomorrow? Or have they been curtailed as a result of the current COVID-19 pandemic?
Again, this year, I am being advised that the traditional way we celebrate labor has been curtailed. But, of course, individual unions are doing what they normally do. If we can't go there and parade, we find ourselves assisting people in the community. I think the other umbrella organization, I understand that they're having a motorcade, but the organization that we're part of, the National Congress of Trade Unions, was seeking permission from, I believe, from the government, and what I'm understanding is that permission has not yet been granted.
Okay. So we'll await to see that detail in that response. So joining me on the broadcast, Dino Roll, President of the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union, and Carl Wilson, President of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union. Gentlemen, so good to talk about the reflections of Labor Day as we celebrate tomorrow. LaDawn and Charles, back to you in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Desmond. As we head to the break, we take a look back at today in Bahamian history. On June 3rd, 1957, Skyways Limited, Nassau's second regularly scheduled domestic airline, inaugurated service to the Out Islands with commemorative flights. It was originally a charter service that started operations with a regular flight between the capital and Grand Bahama. Also on June 3rd, 2000, Bahamian quarter-miler Avad Monker set a Bahamian and Auburn University record, winning the men's 400 meters at the NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championships in North Carolina. He ran a personal best time of 44.72 seconds.
ZNS Shopping Network is the place for deals. Check out the deals Cantor General Store has for you. Log on to www.znsshoppingnetwork.com, select the island of your choice, and shop anywhere, anytime.
A local organization has created a platform to highlight the achievements of our youth. Desmond Sanders tells us more.
They are diverse, savvy, and smart. 48 of the nation's top young talent to receive high honors for professional and career achievement in a few weeks.
Just recently, we began to identify persons in the community, 48 of them, who are, like I said, doing phenomenal things in their area of professions, careers. Also, who have also been have a phenomenal academic achievements, etc.
Those 48 honorees will be unveiled late July to coincide with this year's upcoming independence celebrations. It's brainchild Stephen Sands and his Project Bahamas organization.
We just wanted to start at a number that we can recognize our celebration, our independence celebration as well. So in 2022, we'll be at 49. Well, Project Bahamas is a group of millennials between the ages of 20 to 40 who've come together to heighten the awareness of emerging leaders
Sand says a candidate selection was very vigorous, reflecting the best and brightest in business, sports, art, and media.
In 2020, where we solicited persons to nominate their friends and families to be a part of the whole initiative based upon, like I said, their academic achievements, and then based on the things that they've been doing in their area professions. We had about 300 submissions, and then we shortlisted it to 100 persons, and we came up with a number of 48 who were all selected by a select committee.
Ever heard of lapel pins? Well, one Bahamian has turned the idea into a full-fledged business and is not only making waves, but talks about how his brand and customer base has flourished over the years.
It's something that I always wanted to do. Looking at the suit aspect, seeing that always needed that touch.
Decorating suit jackets, blazers, shirts, and blouses with fashionable lapel pins for adults and children is how Keith Russell is making an honest living in this COVID-19 pandemic. His business, Russell Brand, is hot amongst Bahamian customers who order the colorful pins for all special occasions. Russell says while making the lapel pins is nothing new around the world, he put a different spin on things to give it some Bahamian flavor.
Sometimes it's the material that's already made. Sometimes that I buy. I would see something in a store that I'd be like, that could be a pin. So I would basically buy it and just make the pins. The Lenors itself, I buy them, and then it's just basic materials like the glue, the scissors. Sometimes to get the fabric, I make flower fabrics. I make any type of pins that goes for the occasion, basically. So these ones, the one that I have on now is basically something that I've experimented, that I've had in store for a while. So basically, mostly my pins are flower pins. But I've started now since the pandemic, I've started doing pins that match occasions like breast cancer.
Russell, an immigration officer, birthed his business 4 years ago, but has surprisingly flourished amidst the pandemic. Additionally, he says customers have inspired and encouraged him to enhance his brand by infusing unique designs to make his business more attractive.
When COVID first started, business has been slow, because there hasn't been anywhere to go. So I've had a lot of persons saying, don't stop, because when the pandemic is over, we're going to need you. And things have started to open, so persons have started to come more to me and say, hey, I need this pin for my wedding, I need this for an occasion at church. The National Art Gallery, they had a pop-up for Mother's Day. I was there showcasing the pins that I've had, and it gave me a lot of support because now Father's Day is coming up, so a lot of persons are saying, hey man, I see your pins, I'm coming to you for Father's Day.
He is a young recording artist who comes from a family of music lovers, but now he is making a change. He is not only getting out of the industry, but he is tweaking the genre. Jay Philippe has more.
Local Bahamian artist Chris Bain has been producing secular music for the past 5 years, but the artist has since shifted his focus to what he calls inspirational music. He says his past experiences, especially as of late, has shifted his perception of life.
I tried everything else. I said, let me try God. And I submitted to Christ. And when I submitted to Christ, it was like me flushing out all the things that I've learned and now being renewed in my mind, just changing the way that I did things. Everything wrong that I was doing, I found the right way to do it through his words, through reading the scriptures. Started to give me life, started to give me the solutions to every problem I've been dealing with.
The talented artist is expected to release his new album this summer. His hit song titled Life, along with his newest single, How the Story Ends, tells us about his renewed personal encounter with Jesus Christ.
It's me going through the process of giving up myself and seeking him, seeking his word, trying to find something else. So it's like me going through a reborn process where I have to renew my mind all over again, and this is the only thing I cling into, realizing by I trying everything in this world, and it ain't working. You know, I going through hardships and it's like nothing working out. So I try God. This songs, these music now is like, it's inspiring people. It's relating to people.
Bain says he plans to continue to share his faith-based stories as his personal relationship with God strengthens.
I want whoever are able to reach me, whether it's Facebook, you know, Christopher Bain, whether it's Instagram, 242 Chris Bain, whether it's my personal contact, 553-0063, and you're looking to make that change, then contact me. I want to involve artists who have the ability to sing, you know, people who just looking to know what it is that you found out that we've been missing, that we haven't been taught. You know, I want to extend that invitation to all who want to make that change. I want to I plan to do a lot more music videos, giving the testimonies that also heal people, give them solutions, you know, so people can relate and have something to hold on to. That's like therapy, you know, it's a living word in every song. That's why I'm going to release the album, so it's like you get a message in every song. Pick your favorite that relates to you and what you're going through.
The artist shares that reflective reading and the study of scripture has been his comfort. Bain says he hopes that his new style of music can someday inspire persons who may be looking for answers to just search within themselves.
Fisher, those questions were quite hard. We got a winner.
Even though BCPOU, Bahamas Communication Public Officers Union, that was the answer. And the answer for the next question was the first general payment general manager, Harcourt, Rusty Bethel. And guess what? Naomi Aubrey Smith, she answered both questions, so she got herself the mask and she got herself the 85th anniversary t-shirt. Congratulations, Ms. Smith. You can pick your gifts up today right here from the Broadcasting Corporation of Bahamas. And don't forget tonight at 8 o'clock right here on the ZNet Television Network, part 3 in my series, The Sailing Story, will be live, so stay tuned to that as well. The work never stops.
All right, and be sure to stay tuned into the ZNS Network for news as it happens, TV and radio updates throughout the day. Then you can tune into the Northern Edition and the Bahamas Tonight at 7 with Makush Lapinder. That's it for us this morning for the entire team.
Have a safe weekend, everybody.
Listen.